So Matthew, I guess it seemed like a game of you guys had probably dominance for 1.5 quarters there, the first quarter and probably the first half of the fourth, and probably everything else seemed to be all on Richmond's terms. Is that basically how you saw it as well?
Yeah, unfortunately, we started really well. We had the game on our terms, no doubt, up to quarter time. But as every very good side does, they arm wrestled it back and sort of put us to the sword a bit in the second and third. But I'm pleased with the fight towards the end. I think there was the key point in that key moment is Rewalt going back with the flight in that last quarter, and and then the way he played out for the rest of the game. Obviously, they're a fantastic team, but for a leader to stand up like that, it was unfortunate for us, and got them across the line. I think it was 9 points it got to in the last, which unfortunately the second and third quarters we just lost our way. We lost a lot of shape on the ground. They brought pressure. We invited more pressure, and they're a very, very good side when it comes to that. So we took it into their domain, and they were too good for us.
You mentioned the Rewalt mark. Obviously, you're on the wrong end of it, but where I guess does that sit in some of the best marks you've seen in your career?
The last Rewalt mark I've seen like that is, I think, one of the best marks of all time. It's courage and outstanding mark. Credit to him. Obviously, he's an experienced player and he's an important player for them. So, unfortunately, we were on the other end of it. It would have been nice because we had a little bit of a run going up until that point, a little bit of momentum with us, and turned the game.
As you said, you got the margin to 9 points. What was the message at three-quarter time for that, the effort that the boys produced there?
Well, we had a conversation around what probably wasn't quite going our way, and we were inviting pressure. We allowed them to play it on their terms. And really, we looked at that last quarter, and there's simple things we do well when we play our best football. And it was a matter of getting back to those. We did that. It wasn't, it probably looked pretty on the TV, but it was just our ability to compete and get the ball forward, give our forwards a chance, and they finished in front of goal. I thought even across the day, it wasn't our best day in front of goal. We missed a few that, we knocked through and maybe changed a bit of momentum at times. But, that last quarter, I think for 5 or 10 minutes patch, to get ourselves back into the game, it was a credit to our young group because they... it could have been a lot worse than that if we hadn't stepped on the accelerator for 5 or 10 minutes. It could have, the game was looking like it could have got out of hand.
Was it more of a almost like a psychological thing? Because you were down by 34 late in the third. Was it almost a psychological thing where the players thought, you've got nothing to lose, let's throw caution to the wind? And in saying that, if that's the case, is it something that you can learn from? Because in the middle 2 quarters, that attitude really wasn't there, was it?
Yeah, and it's probably where you start that from. A centre bounce in the last. I'm not sure where our score sources were exactly, but it was a lot of centre bounce to forward half. We weren't able to do that in the second and third because we weren't winning that area of the ground. We were sort of pinned in our back half and unable to use the footy. The marks in the end there was such a discrepancy between what we were able to do with the ball in hand and what they did in the end. Whereas the first quarter, we were happy for them to chip backwards and sideways, but we couldn't get that done second and third. So there's a lot more than just our guys, playing, as you said, freeing up. Our guys play a reasonably free game. I think it's more about how we compete in around the contest. Gives us that opportunity to play a little bit more of a forward running sort of style of footy.
Matthew, do you know where next week's game's going to be?
It's not locked in as yet, so we'll have to wait on the AFL to give us more information. We're planning for a Saturday game in Adelaide. Obviously, there's a fair bit still to go through with that. So we'll wait on the AFL. We'll be flexible, ready to play wherever it need be.
Just Riley O'Brien, another sort of outstanding performance, it seems, at least from here. Have you been impressed with sort of the way he's been able to maintain his form this season, given the strides he took last year?
Yeah, I thought that was Riley's probably his best game for the season. I thought he found that ability to mark the footy again behind the ball. Actually, it wasn't just behind the ball; it was right around the ground. So it was a really positive, showing from Riley for us. He'd be first to admit he hasn't probably had that to where he did last year. So, for him to bounce back today, play a really solid game for us, that's a great sign. He's had some really tough matchups, and today was no exception. But he definitely stepped up, coming off the back of a matchup against Gawn. To play the way he did today was a really good sign. I thought he gave us, some use around the footy, and we were able to get stoppage on our terms. Wasn't the whole game, unfortunately, but a real positive for us.
And just looking at sort of a little moment today when you had Dustin Martin kick that goal midway through the third, just the lapses in concentration. Is that the kind of thing you'll identify during the week, in review? Yeah,
and we've had that conversation. We unfortunately at the moment we're a little bit too easy to score off turnover against. I think we leaked 7 goals from our attacking mid zone. That's our work on. I mean, we've had to work on each week. There are things when you have a young squad like we do. There are things we're learning each week. Even from wins, we come away and we learn some things this week. And it hasn't just been this week. It's been especially across the last sort of 4 to 6 weeks. Teams are scoring over 100 points against us, and the turnover score is the one that's really hurting us. That's Richmond's strength, is to be able to punish you anytime you make a mistake. They did that today. I think 7 goals from their attacking mid zone. An area that I know our young guys, they'll fix it. We've had so many small things we've learnt from, and right from a pre-season where we're talking about stoppage, we fixed it within a week. This one's a tougher one, but we'll keep working on it, because we'd like to think we can keep some sides, under that 100 mark, give ourselves more of a chance to win those games.
Just another one, just that Tex Walker. I mean, Noah Bolt has probably been close to Richmond's best defender all year, and another really strong performance. Does he continue to amaze you, or are you getting used to it now?
No, it doesn't amaze me. I think if we give Tex enough opportunity, he has the ability to perform. It's more about what we're doing as a team and giving him those opportunities. Moving the ball the way we've shown at times this season. He'll be able to finish for us. He's an extremely good footballer and a very good finisher in front of goal. So we've just got to, I guess, provide him with more opportunity, move the footy the way we need to. And we look at the last quarter, it starts in the middle of the ground. When our guys get it done in there, we get it forward. And if Tex is sniffing around, then it's danger time. So, no, we're really, really pleased with how he's performed this year, and he's doing a lot of stuff off field. So that's a good sign.
Any injuries? How's Barry? Is that the 12-day protocol? Is that?
It will be, yeah. So that'll be a concussion protocol for Bez, unfortunately. So we'll just have to monitor him. He's moving around well at the moment and recovered quite well. So we hopefully there's nothing more to come from that other than go through protocol, and we'll miss him next week.
Anything else that you know of, or that's pretty much?
Not at this point. Nothing. No standouts. A few bruised boys, but they'll recover.